I'm going to go ahead and issue a dare. I dare you to find a more pathetic, self-loathing, and just all-around cringy character than Dinesh D'Souza. If you don't know who Dinesh D'Souza is, you probably wouldn't be watching this video anyhow. Dinesh D'Souza, of course, worked under Reagan, made some attacks on affirmative action. That was very popular back then. Wrote one book that some people said was sort of half decent, and then descended into coulter territory as soon as he got the opportunity, because he possesses zero talent, the charisma of one of my old shoes dipped in horseshoe. And on top of all of that is just not the most pleasant guy to look at. He's vicious too, and a complete hypocrite. So he's quite the package, fits perfectly in today's Republican Party, sadly. Why do we talk about him today? He likes to go back and talk about his education, how he went to Dartmouth. He's like 55 or 60 or something. And he likes to go back and talk about his college education 40 years ago to brag when people attack him. So former congressional candidate Richard Ojeda out of West Virginia said that if you like the movie 275,000 Mules or whatever it was called, his ridiculous movie that got like a 6% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and that was high for him, about all the election fraud that actually never happened, because krabs, the top cybersecurity person for elections under Donald Trump, said this was the safest election we ever had, and Rudy and his COVID fart victim by Rudy's flaming rectal vapors, I believe I said. Sorry, that image will be in your head forever. Jenna, ellis, they went over 63 in their attacks on their elections and lawsuits. You know, obviously just a complete bug. So Richard Ojeda did what normal people do and mocked him for it and said, if you believe in these 3,000 mules, you may be part of the poorly educated, to which a obviously very offended and angered Dinesh D'Souza responded, well, I went to Dartmouth, and I was at the American Enterprise Institute, worked under Reagan, and I wrote a bunch of well-received books. He did not. And I had bestsellers in the New York Times. His friends at Heritage Foundation and these places call in bulk buy books all the time to get them on the New York Times list, so that's not really an accomplishment either. So whatever. He whined and said how great he is and said, now you go, to Ojeda. So I thought I might go instead. I'd like to respond to Dinesh. So first of all, Dinesh, I was on the 6th grade student council at Grace Church School in New York City. 6th grade, I made it. Got up at lunchtime, I'll never forget. Made a big speech on, I think, how we needed more money for parties, and I made the student council. Also, I'm not a felon. I did not illegally straw give, and if you know what that means, folks, Dinesh wanted to give money to a New York candidate who had no chance of winning anyhow, and of course, so he gave money to other people so that they could then give money to that candidate, which is a way about getting around the limits, right? So I have $15,000 I want to give, let's say, and I can only give 5. I give 5, and then I give 5 to 2 friends each, and then they give the 5 to that candidate, and then I repay them. That's illegal. He knew that was illegal. Great picture of him. I hope we get it in this video of him standing there with his nice little almost poster board, like numerical accounting of the fact that he's a felon. So there's that too. In addition to not being a felon, here's something else I never did. I never was invited to run a Christian university, laughable in itself. And when president of that Christian university, I never went to a conference it held, brought a woman there and said, hi, this is my fiance, and introduced her all around. Everybody's like, great, your fiance, that's wonderful. Where's your wife? Yeah, his wife was at home or stepping out with somebody else if she was smart. But the point is, she wasn't there. He was still married to her. And he was referring to another woman at a Christian conference that talks about all of the terrible values of modern society and how you need to be one man and one woman and being gay is awful and abortion's evil and everything else. But for Dinesh, it was okay to bring another woman. I mean, mind-boggling, not just the hypocrisy, but like, what did he think was going to happen? This stupid MFer. He brought a woman to a conference with people who knew him and knew his wife and introduced another woman as his fiance. So yeah, I've never done that either, if we want to go down the list of now you go. Also, I've never been a felon. Oh, did I say that already? That's correct. I've also never been a felon. And I've never put out a series of films laughed at by every historian and every political scientist, debunked readily. Even people on the right are embarrassed and have ripped the crap out of them. I think Coulter has ripped these movies apart, which is pretty hilarious if you think about it. And they've gotten a combined, I think if you average out like a 9% score on Rotten Tomatoes, and the only reason why they make any money is because because the right pays people to go to them. So think about this person. Yeah, he went to Dartmouth, and since then has become a laughable joke, is somebody who cannot write an honest book or create an honest movie that anybody wants to read or see and are bought in bulk and tickets bought in bulk, has become a felon because he's too dumb to follow simple rules. Oh, and thought, stepping out on the missus with a fiance at a Christian conference was a swell idea. That's all I've got. Hey, Dinesh, now you go.